Greetings, everyone. This is Anita Talks History and Genealogy, and I just wanted to uh, come on and do, and put my little 2 cents in as to what's going on with the um, the stand down. I'm calling it a stand down. Some folks are calling it a boycott of um, the uh, Asian beauty supplies um, and the fast foods um, yeah, this is Anita Talks History and Genealogy, and I want to, share this and put my 2 cents in because I feel like people take us for granted, and the and and they don't have any. What would you call it? Like you have customer service skills. Well, I don't think some of them have customer service skills because if I'm coming in and I'm spending my money, you know, what's the attitude? And I've gotten used to not getting any response, to them just doing their job, which is hey, cool with me, to just having some of them, roll their eyes at you. And I don't go in and talk loud or get ghetto or anything like that, because a whole lot of folks is ghetto. As far as I'm concerned, it's not only my people or our people that are ghetto. Them folks is ghetto themselves, and that doesn't mean all of them, but there's some that are, you know, and there is within that community there has been, you know, there was a man out here in California who was Asian who killed up a bunch of his coworkers, and that was right down here, not too far from where I live right now, in a farming community. And he just, he was like a farm worker, and they're living in desperate conditions. The people who he was working for, they were working for was Asian. They had them in substandard housing, working them 10 and 15 hours or so a day, no overtime, and living in squalid conditions and God knows what else. So the place that it happened was Half Moon Bay. And this was a couple of years ago. This was an Asian man that did that. And then there was another Asian man who was in Southern California. And he killed 12 people of his own people. They were at a dance studio. They were dancing, like Arthur, what's his name, Miller or whoever them, Arthur, them dance people. So they had those types of dance where they were, and he got pissed off and he took a gun and he killed 12 people of his own people. That's and then there was a Korean, this young man from South Korea who was um, killed a bunch of people at Virginia Tech. Yeah, killed a bunch of people at Virginia Tech. He was Asian, and that's just you know, those are just some of the incidents that happened. And I'm wondering why the Asian community was silent when that happened. But if there's something like that happens with us in our community, then they want to mark it down so they can throw it up in our faces. But we're racist if we throw up what's going on in their community, in their faces. And I don't mean all of them, but they know who they are. And to come on social media with no historical context of not even, you came into you're in our country. This is my country. My people are from here. I have an ancestor one ancestor that I trace back, and I'm sure there might be other that I trace back to Africa. I have European ancestors. You don't even know who we are. And you come here and call yourself putting us down in our own country. We were here before the colonizers ever came. This is our land. We went through hell just like you all did, but we just chose not to get up and leave. We chose to stay and fight. That's what my people did. Because it's not greener on the other side. It's not going to get better by itself. Somebody's got to stay and fight. Everybody can't come to America. You've got to make a decision that you're going to stay there and make a difference. Or if you come here, then make a plan to make a difference back home. Send some money back home. Retire back home, you know. But don't come and try to put yourself above the people that are already here and the people that built this country. And the people that brought you over here, this government, they're the ones that are probably the cause of the misery in your country. You don't even know that. Who do you think split up North and South Korea? You know, look up the Marshall Plan. Yeah, get some history and learn about our country before you come here. And don't assume that um, because you have a store in the neighborhood that we need you. We were we were doing okay before you came here, and we'll do okay if you leave. You leave our communities, oh well. I mean, if people, we're just deciding that we're going to spend our money and uplift our community. I've been decided that I wasn't going to pay somebody to get my nails done. I was actually in Oakland, California, and my friend, she was like, "Come on, I'm gonna pay for you to get your nails done. I'll pay for you to get your nails done," and takes me into a place that used to be an African American grocery store, and it's now all these Asian women are sitting there and they're doing nails. And the lady that was doing my nails, her hands were so rough, had calluses, her own fingers looked horrible. And it almost, just made me sick of my stomach to think that I'm giving my hands over to her when she looked like she needed a a manicure. And there was a guy there, and all the women, he was sitting there like all these women were working for him, and he's the one collecting the money. So that's how they do stuff. Wherever these people, whichever part of Asia they came from, the man, he's, you know, I was thinking to myself, he looks like he's pimping these women. And the woman that touched me with them rough hands and stuff, and I'm thinking, they probably got her doing all kinds of other stuff. They probably um, have 3 or 4 jobs because they're allowed to underpay those women. They're allowed to bring their culture here and be they don't have women's rights. And when they come here, um, unless the women come here without the men, then they just bring that with them. And I'm not putting them down. It's just all they know. And I'm not saying it's all Asians, but that was the impression that I got, knowing that they have sewing factories, uh, and this government looks the other way when these people are overworking and underpaying their own people. This government will allow that with certain Asian people that come here to the United States. They will not police them. And another thing is that they have Chinatown here in Oakland, and they have one in San Francisco, and don't know black people or white people work there. Only that they don't have equal opportunities there. All the only people working there are Asians. You know, um, so they don't offer us jobs or anything like that. And if you go to look for a job and they're interviewing you, you're not probably not going to get that job. You know, um, that's they just stick together, which is not a bad thing. But what I'm saying is, this is my observation of the community, and especially certain communities the Asian, um, you know, within the Asian um, community here. And um, but do I blame them? No, I blame the government. Our government looks for people like that to bring here. I've seen that, not only with them, with other immigrants that come here that want to be, they want to come and have those same rights. They want to have the white rights, to look down on somebody and don't even know the history, don't even know um, that this is our land, that we were here before the European ever came. We've been here. Yeah, they did come here and enslave my indigenous ancestors. And they brought one of my ancestors here as a slave in 1830. But the conditions that you all came here under the first time was slavery too. Anytime you're getting underpaid, that's slavery because you're given free time and you're getting very little in return. You know, so maybe you ought to stop um, trying to pit yourself against us, the indigenous people of these lands, because you are seen you're seen as a foreigner by them. They're never going to see you as somebody that's from here. They'll continue to harass you just like they try to do us, and let you know that you're not one of them. That's why they're so comfortable. Hey, you can go in the black community, you can go over here, because they know you're not citizens, and they know you want it so bad, and they're never going to allow you to feel comfortable as a full citizen of this country because you're not YTE. And that's just a word to the wise. And so, I'm observing that, and I'm seeing how, um, you know, people are coming um, onto social media and making negative comments like that. What you say is the God's truth, and we're going to take it and we're going to personally. Uh, oh, that hurts so bad. No, it don't, baby. We knew you felt that way all the time. We're used to it, you know. And and I have people who are Asian and who are friends, and we have discussions, and we're all, I'm respectful of them, they're respectful of me, but they don't have stores or anything like that. I don't know. Most of the Asians that I know work, you know, in other kinds of jobs. But yeah, I just find it interesting how people come here and then, oh, what's wrong with you people? You have all this, and well, all of this that we have, we created it. All this beautiful country that you're coming to was built by my ancestors, by our ancestors. My grandfather was a brick maker. He made bricks from scratch. They were builders. He was a sharecropper in South Carolina after slavery ended. His parents died, worked themselves to death. When they said they died from dropsy. That's working yourself to death, not taking care of your health. And my grandfather was orphaned because of the way these Europeans treated them after slavery. That's our reality. And to me, it's like if you ran from your country because there is, you were being persecuted or whatever. So if we've been persecuted for 400 years off and on. So if you get persecuted, I guess you know, get on a plane or a boat or something and go somewhere else because you're not going to, if you've given us the impression that you won't stand up and fight for this country, for us, for your rights. So if you ran from your own country and you're here as a refugee, and the way that Trump is doing stuff, it may get kind of rough. So what y'all gonna do? You're gonna take off and go somewhere else? You know, the earth is not but so big. How many times are you gonna pack up and go somewhere else when things get tough? I'm just asking the question. But anyway, so I'm going to close, and I want to thank you all who are tuning in. Please let me know what you think about what's going on. We've already made our decision as to what we're going to do and not going to do. So um, that is that. And I'm just loving this Juneteenth, and people are picking up on it. Disneyland has it. People overseas are, you know, you know, or in tune with it. And every time that we have a holiday or celebration, folks join in. People join in, and I love that people of goodwill join in. And as long as we're not forgetting what Juneteenth is about, what Kwanzaa is about, what our holidays are about, what Memorial Day is about. Let's not ever forget it, you know, because that's a part of our history. And I will check with you all later. Again, I'm going to have a live broadcast Sunday, um, which is the 21st, 7 p.m. Pacific time. And I'll talk to you then. Ciao.